All right, so boom, CocoMelon, the most evil channel on YouTube. You know, if Sunny V2 make a video about you, it might be time for your downfall. So is this the downfall of CocoMelon? Let's find out. Let's find out.
I've been letting him watch CocoMelon, but now I had to get him speech therapy so I can get him to talk. There are hundreds
Huh?
and hundreds of anecdotes in which parents mention the exact
My
same
two-year-old is
problem.
speech related and
The
addicted to
CocoMelon show is
CocoMelon.
so
Switched to Mystery
insanely
2 days ago, and he's already
addictive,
saying
it's
more
being compared
words.
to nicotine and causing developmental issues amongst the
Bro,
kids who never stop
what?
watching. Children's TV expert Jerica Sands calls it the most damaging show a child can watch, explaining the sneaky ways in which they make the show addictive. Firstly, there's the colors. Take for example the wheels on the bus. The three main colors, blue, green and yellow, are all at maximum saturation, meaning they cannot be made any brighter no matter how hard you try. Extreme saturation is normally used for alerts and notifications, as it's exciting, dynamic and attracts attention, which is why it's also used in slot machines.
So they're using the same techniques that social media sites use to get us addicted, but on little kids. Let me know what y'all think about that in the comments.
CocoMelon puts these colors in perfect contrast, making them appear even more vibrant, which is different to, for example, Bluey, in which the colors instead blend together. CocoMelon's also different because it's highly repetitive. There's a reason they have 38 videos with over 1 billion views. A child's brain
Over
is
1
wired
billion
to learn through
views?
repetition, so it feels right to them to watch the same thing over and over again. CocoMelon abuses this in almost every video. For example, in the Yes Yes Playground song, they pick a word to repeat 3 times in every sentence, pairing it with a subtly repeating background lullaby, keeping children hooked. Literally no show or movie puts my son into a deep trance the way CocoMelon does. The second it's on the TV, he turns into a toddler zombie who doesn't see or hear anything else that's going on in the room. This is a
So the show literally is turning these little babes into zombies, dude. Like they're in that motherfucker. Whoa, CocoMelon. You know what? I could see it.
only
Yeah, I could see how that would
exacerbated
happen.
by
Yeah.
CocoMelon subtitles, which have also been a heavy point of criticism. The letters are not educational, I can barely read them fast enough. It's simply another interesting element to capture your little one's attention.
Speed
CocoMelon
captions.
explains in every description, our goal is to help make learning a fun and enjoyable experience for kids, giving you the peace of mind that your children are receiving quality educational content. But
They're
people
farming,
argue
bro.
that's exactly what children shouldn't do. For example, in the No No Bedtime song, the baby refuses to brush his teeth, have a bath, put on pajamas, or get in bed. The education is that he eventually agrees to do so, yet a TikTok user was critical, stating, anytime I'd ask my son to do a simple task, he'd say no, no, no. He's sitting there watching CocoMelon, which taught him no, 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 and to say no to me. On the topic of education, Jerica Sands stated, these people don't give a shit about our children. They care about money. That's
I mean, let's be real. America is a capitalist country, and who know? I don't know where CocoMelon is based out of, so I didn't do that research before reacting to this video. But we know America is about money. Some people do. Some YouTubers and streamers they do care about their communities 100%, and they do love and enjoy what they're doing. But the financial gain is, you feel me, a thing that's there. And some of these channels are gonna find ways to exploit that and maximize it to their effort. You feel me? And a lot of the stuff they're using is psychological techniques. So it sounds like parents might need to, you feel me, maybe not, let their kids watch, certain things without their permission. But I don't know. I ain't got no kids, so don't quote me on that.
it. Your child's cognitive development, indirect
Do
exchange
not
for
quote
their
me.
wealth, and there's pretty good evidence supporting this. A New York Times journalist visited CocoMelon's studio, discovering their #1 focus is keeping children hooked. CocoMelon's
Well,
data
duh.
and analytics team sifts constantly through YouTube numbers to determine exactly what resonates. Should a girl wear black jeans or blue jeans? Should the music be louder or softer? Should the bus be yellow or red? Yellow is the answer, as they use a darker method to ensure that they're correct. CocoMelon has a dedicated Distractotron room in which once a month children are brought here one at a time and shown a handful of episodes to figure out exactly which parts of the shows are engaging and which are tuned out. Next to the TV playing CocoMelon, there's a second screen which plays a continuous loop of banal real-world scenes. A guy pouring a cup of coffee, someone getting a haircut, each lasting about 20 seconds. Whenever a youngster looks away from the moonbug dark show to glimpse the Distractotron, a note is jotted down. We can see what they're looking at and the exact moment.
Bro, they are in this scientifically, dude. They're running experiments on 2-year-olds, dude. They said, you know what? We're getting that YouTube bag. It's ours. The check is ours. Holy shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie. They are in the data. That's all I'm gonna say.
When they got
Morally,
distracted.
you let me know how y'all feel.
Education clearly isn't the primary goal. Keeping kids' attention is, and this is proven by CocoMelon's most addictive element, rapid camera cutting. It's crazy how many times the frame changes on CocoMelon. It's the same type of addicting behavior that we experience on a TikTok binge. It's the quick change of frame that releases that dopamine and makes the videos addicting to watch. Count the seconds between a change of frame. Well, TikToker the Circus Brain did exactly this. He firstly counts the changes on My Little Pony, concluding there's about 6 seconds between each cut. He then compares it to CocoMelon.
There's gonna be like 2 or 3, huh?
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1.
Wow, I was actually right. I said it was gonna be like 3. Yeah, but that's what like it feels like to watch certain YouTubers' videos anyway. It feels like there's always a cut or something moving to make sure you feel like you're not missing anything.
2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1.
Damn.
1.
In her video, The Nightmare That Is CocoMelon,
1 to 2
Samantha
seconds,
draws
bro.
a similar conclusion. She found that 96% of the shots in Baby Shark were shorter than 2 seconds. She then compares 4 different animated shows, again finding CocoMelon has the shorter shots.
The longest shot on a CocoMelon video was 6 seconds. The longest shot on Arcane was 8 seconds. The longest shot on Bluey was 27 seconds. And the longest shot on Encanto was 18 seconds.
Which, when combined with every other element, creates some terrifying statistics. Dr.
I feel like I'm learning something
explained
right now.
that when showing an infant normal video content, they'll focus on the screen just 11% of the time. However, when the video is instead switched to CocoMelon, their screen engagement skyrockets to a whopping 74%. This therefore produces stories such as this. I used to volunteer for a preschool and they had song time. A CocoMelon video came on, and all of the tots stopped what they were doing, put down their cheese crackers,
Damn.
and remained fixated on the screen for the duration of
Them
the
boys
video.
is hood.
It was honestly kind of terrifying.
CocoMelon is
YouTuber
crack.
Saberspark shared his own personal anecdote. He asked to watch a Disney movie with his 2 younger cousins, who both completely refused, and instead spent all day glued to an iPad playing the addictive show. In CocoMelon Made My Kid a Zombie, a mother talks about her son. He would be in a daze while watching it. You could be waving your hand right in front of his face, and he wouldn't move. It was almost scary. This was also discovered by Sarah Mills 98, who explained when the CocoMelon addiction is so real that my 1-year-old can navigate the TV to turn it on by himself. However, nothing shows
Lil' bro
the
is
addiction
smart.
better than the CocoMelon TikTok trend. Parents will play the show's intro loudly and video their kids sprinting toward the television, where you can witness their mood change instantly. The New York Times journalist found something
Damn,
similar.
dude.
The kid in the Distractotron had shown up in the midst of a tantrum, which ended the second he heard the CocoMelon theme song. It was no surprise to Wheeler, the head of research. 99% of kids, he said, if they're having issues when they get here, once that CocoMelon song comes on, they're like, life is okay, all is good with the world. Obviously,
CocoMelon is mind altering, I guess. It got them feeling good. They locked into that motherfucker. They said, huh? CocoMelon? CocoMelon?
there's a reason for this.
Kinda
CocoMelon
crazy,
is so
though.
hyper-stimulating that it actually acts as a drug.
There you go.
And what happens when you take the drug away? Young children experiencing symptoms of addiction and withdrawal, obviously leaving them completely dysregulated. TikTok user ThePoff1 filmed what happens when you take the show away, explaining he'll be inconsolable for at least 10 to 15 mins after, adding in the description, CocoMelon Meltdown is legit. Once you have a taste of the cocoa, it's hard to break the addiction.
Of the cocoa.
Which this
Crazy.
Reddit user had
Crazy work.
experienced even worse. My husband and I have been worried about our child. I can slowly see how she'd throw violent tantrums at home and in church whenever she'd get bored and would want to watch the show. Her behavior changes the moment she watches the show, and she will not even eat her meal.
So, like, essentially, right? CocoMelon is a drug that has these little toddlers addicted. And this is not the only show doing these things. There's probably multiple shows doing it. And now they're experiencing fucking meltdowns and withdrawals from a show. That is actually nasty work. That's all I have to say. That was like nasty work.
Meals if she wouldn't watch it. After these tantrums end, kids can experience a general discomfort in the speed of everyday life. The more they watch the show, the more their brain begins to expect this intense level of stimulation.
Basically, CocoMelon overstimulates their brains so much that everything else just seems slow and boring in comparison.
However, the potential consequences get much worse than this. As mentioned at the start, it was the cause of a child's speaking problems, with a notable reply reading, "Same thing happened with my daughter too. She's 4 but can't speak properly. She knows the words, but she does not like to frame the sentence or speech. She has been watching these CocoMelons or such other stuffs for 2 or 3 years. Hope we're not too late." Over on Reddit, a speech language pathologist explained, "Screen time in general is linked with speech delays for a variety of reasons, but CocoMelon is excessively bad. Firstly, unlike other TV shows or movies, it doesn't have a story. It's just very short clips with poorly written songs. The kids aren't able to follow the plot, learn vocabulary, and see the resolution of a conflict supported by infant specialist Meg Fora."
And the problem with fast-paced TV programs is we find that little one's language development is slower.
On the Agents of Speech YouTube channel, this is again confirmed.
The main problem with watching videos on the internet is that they don't know how to use the language that they learn.
But he adds that 4 to 5 hours of screen time per day can make a toddler completely non-verbal.
Less, bro.
A lot of time,
That's a lot. But I feel like a lot of people let that happen.
Researchers discovered that 5-year-olds who watch more than 2 hours of TV a day tended to have lower attention spans and were 7.7 times more likely to show symptoms of ADHD. These screen times...
I'm gonna be honest. 2 hours seems like, 4 hours? 4 to 5 hours seems like a lot of screen time, but I guess these days it's really not. It's very easy to pick up a tablet and be locked into your tablet, especially when they sell tablets for babies. So
This might be even lower for CocoMelon specifically, because as explained by Jerica Sands, not all screen time is created equal. A child who just watched 30 minutes of CocoMelon and a child who just watched 30 minutes of Trash Truck will look like a very, very different child. Thankfully, here lies a simple solution. Sierra Renee explained, "My 2-year-old is speech delayed and addicted to CocoMelon. Switched to Miss Rachel 2 days ago, and he's already saying more words and hasn't had any tantrums." Kim.it shared an almost identical anecdote. "My 8-month-old was obsessed with CocoMelon and having bad tantrums, so I cancelled CocoMelon and only let her watch Miss Rachel, and she said her..."
W's to Miss Rachel for making positive content that's impacting the children in a positive way.
First word within the first 3 days of watching. Clearly, parents are able to simply change the channel, but not before leaving CocoMelon a massive amount of dislikes. They've therefore earned the title, "The Absurdly Popular Kids Show Parents Hate," and CocoMelon has actually responded to the criticism that explain our shows are not intended to replace outdoor playtime or playdates. They have a place in children's entertainment time, and as with food, exercise, etc., it comes down to each parent to find the right and appropriate balance for their children. Our responsibility is ensuring that the quality of the content that we produce is high and beneficial for the development of a child's cognitive and soft skills."
Look, so I'm not gonna lie to you. They cooked right there. At the end of the day, if you are letting your child overconsume something, that really is on you. You are the parent, so that's fair. Now, they made that show knowing what the show could do, but we can't expect somebody that they care about one thing, dude. And they made sure they put, let me go back to the live scene. They made sure to put, you feel me, entertainment time. They made sure to put that with food and exercise immediately after. They knew what they were doing. This show wasn't built to help your kids grow. They made something that would entertain them and get them the bag. And how much of that show they consume is ultimately up to the parent, right? Like CocoMelon is not walking into your house and turning it on themselves. So, you feel me? But it is what it is.
It is worth adding that our social media communities are filled with stories of parents who experience firsthand how Moonbug content helps their children. CocoMelon does have a crazy amount of supporters, but it's obvious that some of them are simply ignoring the downsides. My baby learned the alphabet and numbers from CocoMelon. She may not speak a complete sentence, but she expresses her wants through phrases. But is it CocoMelon's responsibility to ensure that babies are talking? Well, no. People
exactly,
love
bro.
cartoons and games for raising children, and not the shitty parents that don't step in to stop them from watching so much.
And that's what I was about to say. At the end of the day, as the parent, you probably have to, be a parent. If you're just loading up the iPad and handing it to them because you're tired from work, you probably shouldn't have had kids, bro. Like, it sounds crazy, but I mean, that's the truth. If you get off work and you're too tired to take care of your own child and you say, here's some unhealthy food, here's a tablet, watch this till bedtime, like, what do you expect to really happen? Like,
CocoMelon is actually a really sad symbol of parents giving their children tablets instead of actually parenting and interacting with them. Ultimately, parents are the people who choose how much their child consumes.
all right, W video by Sunny V2, as always. You guys let me know what you think in the comments about this, all this information we found out about CocoMelon. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. I'm out of here. Peace.